into getting Ysera this Renekton, and it's not going to beat Power. He's good. Ysera not performing well this tournament. So FENNEL don't need to compete for that Renekton, and because they don't, they get Varus, they get the Lee Sin to play in the early game and in the late game. They have two of the most powerful picks for those two game states already locked in. And Riku, they get the pick you flagged at the very beginning of this segment, at the very beginning of this matchup.
Yeah, the Orianna for sure. He has been very, very consistent. It's his best pick, possibly even the best Orianna player in this tournament. So having this pick on Shaw at the potentially last game in the series is huge. We talked about the Jarvan 4 before, and it's going to be towards Power. Big pokes towards Ysera with that Aerie, and being that big setup for that Shockwave as well as an additional tool for that ball delivery system.
So you've got Lee Sin, you've got Jarvan as that engage to carry those bulls in for FENNEL, and they're a little more reliant on that in order to hold their front line. They're a little lightweight here, Skimmy, which I would be a little bit concerned about versus Rengar, Galio, Lucian. There's a lot of tools to kind of burn down those lighter weight, less healthy members of FENNEL. I think if Flash Wolves win, it comes from early aggression, and it comes from their ability to burst to those low HP total characters.
Sure.
But I actually really like the FENNEL draft. I think it plays to a lot of their strengths, and I think they'll be able to control the early game through that Lee Sin such that it doesn't become a problem.
And I agree to your points, right? Because you're looking at champions like the Renekton, like the Lucian, can certainly get the ball rolling in the early game. They have a lot of power regardless of those items, but the response, as you also touch on, right, from FENNEL University, the Lee Sin there to try and dictate the pace, the Jarvan in the lane to say, well, I can pretty much roam and act as that second jungler if need be. Well, FENNEL University are now on match point. Flash Wolves hoping to try and get it done. And a wise man once said in Australia, come on, Bruce, get it in ya! Let's go to our casters.
So, Skimmy, I don't quite know where that reference is from, but that's fine. I'm looking forward to this one. Flash Wolves have got the composition, got the draft they were looking for after so long. FENNEL University basically playing towards the Memphis. Game number 3.
Well, I'll tell you what I think about your language. I think it's fine that you don't understand it since you don't speak Australian. So it's all good there.
Yeah, it's become a whole different zone now.
It is.
So, gonna up with more knowledge there afterwards.
Yes,
We're gonna keep going with the death segment. Now, FENNEL University, Flash Wolves, FENNEL University. They're up here 2-0 in the series so far, and the Flash Wolves have been really off form here, Obo.
Yeah.
I think you put it best. It's really underperforming is up there.
Is it underperforming or is it just fault, right? That's the question for us to ask here. And honestly, I feel like the problem that we're seeing from Flash Wolves across the board, not quite a week of neutral and lanes. The only one I've ever seen winning lane on Flash Wolves is Bruce. Literally the only one, and he's here on the Lucian, looking to dominate, looking to carry his team to a win, to try and get reverse going.
Yeah, but I won't be able to hit it, but it's not a miss. Show just walks too fast. That's not his fault, Omo.
Show just walks away from it.
Exactly. Doesn't sit still for skill shots, or for spell. Oh, never. The decision has been a little bit split. I think the analysts have decided if they believe Show's Orianna is good or is just so-so. Which side do you stand on, Omo?
I think Show's Orianna is good. For sure. But consider this Orianna is going to have a lot of problems. It comes down to positioning in team fights, right? She's going to get a Rengar, Renekton on her head. That's going to be followed up by Hero's Entrance. Lucian is going to be throwing Culling. Six is going to be throwing bot.
Look at that difference, though. Yeah, bot dive coming through. They do manage to get this out top control. They might take one down. Domain's going to escape. He pulls the turret aggro. FENNEL University, such beautiful macro to start this off. How it's going to flash under turret.
Oh, double kill.
Wait, Ysera might just be there. But Cookie's walking in on the Java. A couple more hits might find it. it, and they just need one more. He's gonna flag it right away. Will they get out from this one? Power will not be able to escape, equalizing things across the board.
A lot invested, but they finally pick up Power. Bruce even had to make a bit of a trip up towards the Baron lane. It's just so sad for Power, but it's even sadder for Locking. 3-man dived. Both side lanes are suffering, traded sides from Flash Wolves, and we always talk about how Cookie loves to play for Ysera. We haven't seen it work in the last few games. This time around, they do get the dive, they do get a lead for Ysera. Let's see if they can find anything out from this.
So with the Renekton being a little bit more ahead, let's see if this makes a difference for Flash Wolves. We are just going into that 3-minute mark, so still a little bit early, but the first dragon is going to be that Inferno Omo. And we've seen what's happened to Flash Wolves so far. They've had a hard time contesting these objectives, but that is with Cookie playing stuff like the Olaf. He hasn't had a game on the Rengar just yet in this series against FENNEL Adversity, so maybe as an assassin, things might change for the Flash Wolves.
Indeed, as an assassin, Cookie might try to do a little bit more. Let's keep in mind what he was playing the last few games. In Game 2, he played Xin Zhao, ended the game with 2,000 damage, much less than his Nami, who did 3,000 damage. In Game 1, actually refresh my memory here, Grandon. What was he playing in Game 1?
Olaf, my goodness.
Oh, that's right. The least impactful champion he's ever played, which is why I don't remember it. That makes a lot of sense.
Blanked out for your memory. Don't even recall him being
yeah. Yeah, why did you remind me? And now Cookie, he's gonna try to do something here on this Rengar. For what it's worth, I think he does play pretty well on the carries. I think his Graves performance was decent. I think his Riven performances were good. Let's hope he can repeat that here on the Rengar if Flash Wolves want to have a hope of a reverse sweep. But from what we've seen so far, FENNEL Adversity, they look a cut above. They seem to have answers for every single thing Flash Wolves are doing across the board, individually, macro-wise, lane assignments. FENNEL Adversity just look better. And I think that their comp, the team fighting ability that they will have later on in the game, is a good answer to Flash Wolves.
And it kind of does seem like that's the case as well here, Omo, because while Flash Wolves had went to reset and get ready for this Dragon and Rift Tunnel, FENNEL Adversity took this opportunity to do the same. And so now they're back in here. And because of this, Flash Wolves isn't able to force the objectives too easily. They're going to have to watch out for that. Down the bottom side, Bruce is going to trade off against Show, unfortunately, taking a decent amount of damage already. You can see Domain playing towards that bottom side. They prioritize the Infernal Dragon a little bit more. And at the same time, Power is getting control of the Baron lane, shoving in this Sarah, making sure they have this lane prio.
Shoving in Ysera, Eason and Locking stuck under the tower as well. FENNEL Adversity, they are going to start off this Rift Herald. Yeah, that's a bit of an iffy choice, just going for the reset there. Cookie wants to look towards the dragon. They do have Prio here. Cookie has the Trail of the Hunt. He might go for show.
Yeah,
the show's there.
First, this might be a good opportunity to take down the Orianna. Nice shockwave, get some crowd control off, but beautiful follow-up from Flash Wolves. They grab one kill down to the bottom side now. Domain trying to flank them, trying to find an angle back in onto the Cookie. Perhaps will take a decent amount of damage in the process. Flashing forward, the chase corrupted. The second they have vision, looking for the piercing arrow, but it won't be necessary. Domain confirms the kill, but off on the side, Ysera will take one down as well.
Ysera gets a solo kill onto Power. That's something we need to be seeing from him. We talk about how this Renekton is his best pick. In fact, some might say his only pick, and he gets a solo kill with it after Cookie gives him some leads. That's exactly what we need to be seeing from them. And I want to say that Bruce, he stabilized that whole fight. He did so much damage output on this Lucian. Don't forget, he used to be a marksman.
For sure, Omo. And but I think Ysera on Renekton, I think you're the only one that says that's his only pick, right?
It is his only pick. Have you seen his Darius?
Oh my goodness. Shots fired at the Flash Wolves, but Flash Wolves recover beautifully. They will lose Infernal Dragon, those of FENNEL Adversity, not as if do not get anything in that exchange, but Ysera now a little bit ahead. And this is the difference now. The fact that Power is playing for a tank, playing for a weak side Baron lane, is very different from what we've seen in the past two games. The last one on the Fiora, you know, had plenty of damage. Despite the fact he didn't really participate in kills, it constantly forces Sarah away, and they had to deal with that. So now, bit of an exchange by the River. FENNEL Adversity going to back out. They get this mid prior once again, though.
And they're going to be looking towards the Rift Herald. Cookie solo going to back off. Has the Trail of the Hunt to come back into the fight, though. So that's something FLA, they need to be very careful about. Their comp needs front to back. They need the discipline. They cannot be caught on the side lane. But once again, look at Show. He's just so smart on the map. FENNEL Adversity, they just dance around. They push and pull. Show is getting so much money for himself here in the Dragon lane. They give up this Herald, but we saw what Flash Wolves did with Herald last game. What was that, Grandin? Absolutely nothing.
They tried to force it mid lane.
Again?
Flash Wolves were unable to get anything there. And Once again, Ysera. Well, strap on your big boy pants here, Omo. Ysera's here to play.
Ysera is here to play the first game we've seen from him today, and looks like they're gonna get mid lane turret as well. Satchel charge off the back of this Rift Herald. Flash Wolves, have you woken up here?
Yeah, and Flash Wolves finally seem to come to form. That turret as well. They're going to continue building the gold lead. You know, things were looking a little bit iffy. Show was getting a lot of time in the side lane, but now they've finally been able to get some pressure off. This is great from the Flash Wolves. This is the form that we've been looking from them. Bracket B was such a difficult one for us to predict, and the fact that we have been discussing how Ysera is supposed to look. You know, he's had some on and off performances. His best ones definitely on this Renekton. Now we're back on this pickup. Do you feel like this is going to be the difference maker?
Well, he was on the Renekton in game 1, which they lost as well, right? So we got to keep that in mind. The Renekton does not mean a free win, even though it is his highest win rate champion. The problem is Cookie's gank for him actually paid off this game, and he's actually doing stuff against power, and that's going to be huge, right? The big thing I want to look out for, though, is I'm not exactly sure what Flash Wolves are setting up for. I think they just...
here we go. FENNEL Adversity was setting up for that. A beautiful kick coming from Domang. Finds the flank angle. Takes down the first. It's Easton down. And the piercing arrow puts locking down low as well. FENNEL Adversity find a beautiful catch-off.
FENNEL Adversity. Power says, I'm not getting anything done in my lane. I'm getting solo killed. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to play for my team. He sacrifices some farm to calm down, gets the Cataclysm, gets the kill on Easton, and Flash Wolves, they are going to repay the favor.
All hands on deck. They're looking for Ysera first, flashing in. Domang tries to get the clip on Ysera, dodges away from the tidal wave.
Yep.
Beautiful moves from the Renekton.
Big mistake there from Domang. He gave the dice reset over to Ysera, so he could not just slice, but he could also dice away. Together with Flash, he will get away to safety. That means that Flash Wolves, they're going to trade back some pressure here. Bruce, I believe he should be able to get this turret. I don't think he has anything to be afraid of, but just opts to play it safe.
Playing it safe is the way to go about things here, Omo. Flash Wolves, you know, they played it a little bit too safe in game number 2. Now, this third one, things are looking a little bit more accelerated, and the Flash Wolves are trying to make things happen. That being said, though, as well, we look at locking. He's moved back onto the Ziggs, so we've switched things around. It's not going to be locking playing, Bruce playing the AP mages, the AP champions. It's going to be back onto locking instead. That pressure is on him. How is the Ziggs going to play into this matchup? Because this is a very different Flash Wolves in this series.
Wouldn't say it's very different, right?
All right, fair enough.
This is like when we see the good side of Flash Wolves. Okay, they don't explode in lanes. They get some leads here and there. But the problem is they still don't really know what to do in the mid to late game. Barring a Ysera pop-off, barring someone popping off in their team, they don't really find plays. And notice how I said barring someone else after Ysera, because no one else except Bruce, has found big plays.
Oh my goodness, it's Ysera. He's massive once again. Look at that shockwave, not paired together with the Cataclysm. Only clips onto one. Bruce unleashing the full culling onto them. In the meantime, Cookie's taking down the Dragon Power. He's onto this Rengar. No flash for Cookie, but Ysera, he has their number. He's on the FENNEL Adversity. He forces them to flash away. Easton joins into the fight, but he's baited by his team. Ysera baits him in. Flash Wolves disconnected towards the end there.
Perfectly timed on the flag and drag from Power. Despite Ysera taking out Rafi at the start of the fight, they still lose that one out. FENNEL Adversity, they win out on kills, lose out the dragon. So I guess you could say it's a bit of an even trade. Power's just gonna start pushing out the bottom wave. And what is this, Grandin? We have an even game on our hands. Flash Wolves, 2,000 gold up, 2 items on Bruce versus 2 items on Show. It's gonna be a really tight one for sure. And I think that this is gonna be the first intense game that we see here today. Ysera wants a solo again?
Sure, but the difference maker has really been in that Baron lane, Ysera versus Power. That's where we see the goal difference building the most. Whereas we were hoping to see Bruce come online, because Bruce is the one that's consistently winning lane. He's playing aggressively. He's playing stuff like Lucian mid. And up against a control mage, we were hoping that we might see Bruce come up a hit more organically and more naturally. For Flash Wolves right now, though, we do see 2 items completed on the Lucian, so hopefully this is going to be a difference maker against the likes of Domang, against these kind of champions. Meanwhile, once again, it's Ysera as well as Cookie looking to dive against Power. They take him down for the 4th time this game. The bulk of the team's kills have been on Power.
But look at the mid lane right now. FENNEL Adversity, they want to trade, but they have no wave. That's Ziggs. That's the power of Ziggs.
Uninteractive champion for both teams. Flash Wolves, you can't get much more done with the Ziggs. There's not much initiative you can find by yourself. But at the same time, FENNEL Adversity, there's not much interaction you can get done when the Ziggs is gonna clear your wave in a rotation of spells from across the map as well, right? So now we're looking at
That's
things
6.
slow down a little bit more, but I say that they're
Oh,
flashing onto
boy.
Show, trying to take him down. The shockwave buys enough time. That's the flash in coming through from Cookie. They're looking to
Oh, it's a
stop the
turnaround.
Eason. Unfortunately, that's going to be the side lane flank. They're trying to jump onto Danny, take him down as well. Power's joining into the fight. They finally look to take down Sarah. The shutdown, that's going to be critical, but Cookie's in the side lane taking down the turret. He's going to go into the brush. This might be the difference maker. Eason's jumping in as well, and with that, locking secures the final kill for Flash Wolves to get away.
And Flash Wolves, they're turning things around here. They're looking aggressive. Ysera is angry. It's almost as if he heard us talking shit and he tries to turn things around. He's playing aggressively, flashing over the wall, gets on the Orianna. That was a little bit unfortunate in a situation from Danny right there, right? He gets caught up by the flash taunt from Eason, unable to react with his own flash. And Flash Wolves, they pull ahead 5,000 gold up. Look at the damage output that Bruce is starting to put out.
So being able to solo off Domain for the most part. Domain finally makes a quick recall, grabs the Triforce, also the Hourglass. So this could be the difference maker. It's very similar to what we saw from Flash Wolves before, where you use the Hourglass to bait away so many spells. Now, let's take a look back towards Danny, because with Flash Wolves, you know, they not having a traditional Dragon Laner in a sense. You know, Bruce playing the Illusion, it's going to be a little bit more short range. Do you feel like Danny is going to be able to outscale this and put in more impact in Illusion?
Well, just by the nature of the champions, Lucian is always going to DPS more, but pre-fight, Danny has the potential to do more here with his, look at your screen right now, piercing arrows. He gets one onto locking. Actually, I'm quite underwhelmed by the damage. I feel like it should have done
probably
a
not
little
the
bit
best
more
point, right?
Yeah, not the best timing window, but Cookie, he pops the Trills to hunt.
Yeah, maybe looking for a window in, but it doesn't seem to be the case as well. Flash was just maybe trying to scout for some information, kind of... what's the word? Trying to prevent FENNEL Adversity? Trying to disincentivize FENNEL Adversity? Whatever it is.
Trying to kill FENNEL Adversity.
Unfortunately, I think Power is tanky enough to survive off Ysera if he's not committed to this fight. Dragon's coming up now, so that's Flash Wolves moving into the river, into the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, and Ysera will manage to just chunk him out, which is quite surprising considering Power. He's so tanky on the Javelin. Warmock's armor is going to heal him back up, though. It doesn't quite find a flag and drag. And it seems like they will just have to give this one up.
A little bit too late. Eason is now going to try and jump in onto Power first. That's their first target, their first priority. Then they might want to go for. Still a little bit undecided. Cookie is going to take a decent amount of damage. The Shockwave confirms the kill onto the Flash Wolves jungler. What is happening here?
Way too aggressive there from Cookie. I'm actually so underwhelmed by the piercing arrows, and I'm pretty sure that's because of the Umbral Glaive, right? When his team was stomping, he doesn't need the damage, but now Danny, he needs every bit of damage he can get. Baron's gonna be dropping to half though, Gaminism.
Yeah, Ysera's looking to jump in. Eason, he's already moved into the pit. They're trying to take this one away. They steal it! Ysera grabs the Baron. That's massive. FENNEL Adversity now forced to run away, have to route off. Domain's gonna have to flash away. Ysera's in the back. He has to collapse. They have the angle to cut them off. They're under turret. Will Flash Wolves be able to punish this? This was so massive, so critical from them, but Domain unable to secure it.
And they go for the coin flip. It doesn't show heads. It goes over to Flash Wolves. It's not even Cookie who steals it, because Cookie was dead. Ysera goes in as the Redacted and steals that one away. And that has got to be a heartbreaker for Domain. Don't remember the last time in the winner bracket finals when these two teams faced off, it was Domain stealing objectives away from Cookie. Now Ysera says, you know what? I can do it myself. He steals it with, I think it was his Ruthless Predator or Cow
I couldn't even see the HP left over. It was so instantaneous there, Omo.
I think it spiked the same time that Domain smited. That's the most likely explanation. It just got nuked at the wrong timing, and that's unfortunate, but that's what happens in coin flip plays. That's why you need to keep them out of the pit. It's a bit unfortunate that it wasn't even the jungler who stole it. And FLA, I mean, I respect that even though they're in a losing situation, 9,000 gold down, Baron down, they're not pulling the punches. They're not afraid to look for these aggressive plays. And I think they still have a chance in this if they can find Bruce, if they can find Locking.
So we're seeing if they have what it takes to keep holding on to the game, but it's going to be difficult for now as Bruce and Locking are just going to keep split pushing in two different lanes. You have Bruce down the Dragon lane, you have Locking in the mid lane. Both of them you have to deal with, and you have to deal with the minions to boot. That's the first inhibitor taken down. It's Power losing a lot of health away from Bruce. They need to do something. They need to figure out what they want to go for.
Yeah, Power needs to wait for the Warmock's regen to kick in. He needs to pull the trigger though. Look at the belt lane. Oh,
yeah, but Bruce isn't looking to let that happen. Ysera pops the Dominus early, but look at him. He has a Guardian Angel as well. What can FENNEL Adversity really do to them? That's the second inhibitor down, and now it's scoring the wave in from the third lane. It's just the Baron lane inhibitor still standing for FENNEL University.
Inhibitor still standing. FENNEL University, they live to fight another day. The only question is, how much longer do they have in them? I feel like Bruce as well as locking. Look at the range on them. Bruce even picked up the rapid fire cannon. They're just looking to chunk you down from so far away. I feel like the Orianna pick is getting punished in this game, which is a surprise to me. But the biggest factor of all, Ysera is stepping up huge. We talked about how they like to play towards the Baron lane, but it's always been underwhelming. This time, Ysera is actually doing something. In fact, you know what? He's doing a lot.
Is this the secret sauce, Obo? Are we looking at the secret formula for Flash Wolves, Ysera on Renekton? Does anything else work for them?
Nothing else works for them. I'll be perfectly honest with you. We have not seen anything. Oh, well, there was that one game of AP Gragas for Ysera, right? But he really needs to step up because we always talk about how locking is on utility duty. He's always playing the Ziggs. He's always playing the Ferris. After his cocky performance in the last game, I don't expect that to change, right? So it's going to be very important for Ysera and Cookie to step up. And you know why? I won't even be surprised if we see a Darius Olaf again in the next game. So it's very volatile for me, and it's very hard for me to call if they're actually gonna do it, though.
FENNEL University now have to face off against Waves crashing in. It's the Elder Ocean Drake coming online soon, and they can only really watch as Flash Wolves have taken prime position to start this one off. FENNEL University trying to brute force their way into the mid lane. Will take a decent amount of damage to start. Bruce is going to dash in. That's Ethan trying to follow up as well. Tidal Wave looking to reset, trying to force them off. The Cully still in the pursuit. But Ysera unloads everything there. Ysera, he's looking for the flank angle. He's into the back line. He's taking them down. Ethan's going to join in as well. Unfortunately, Ysera's going to get blocked off. Dominguez looking to get taken down here. Has to flash away. Still has the Guardian Angel. Power tries to jump up with the Cataclysm to buy some time for his jungler. Unfortunately, they still go down. That's the first dead for FENNEL University.
They try to get anything they can, blowing all their spells for even a chance at a pick. But it seems like Flash Wolves are too far ahead this game. I feel like you've given them Exodia. Ysera's Renekton, Rengar for Cookie. Bruce is so good on the Lucian rather, if he has a good start. And of course, we all know these are Locking and Eason's favorite champions. This is the best comp for Flash Wolves, and they're looking to run that point home.
Maybe no smite, no chance. It seems to be the case as the flash forward from Ysera nearly takes down Danny, but it's a little bit too aggressive. Cookie, he's flashed in. He's finished off the job. Omo, this is about it. Flash Wolves unhappy with the results of the past two games are here to make a statement. Game number 3, 19 minutes in. They're moving on to the Nexus. This is looking like a different Flash Wolves.
A much better performance here coming out of the Flash Wolves. I'm quite surprised they managed to turn that one around. FENNEL University, they had such a dominant game 2, and there we have it, Grandin.
From game number 3, Flash Wolves